Larissa's here. Nice. Morning, Larissa. Give it to about 10:01 and we'll get started. People are still jumping in. Good and share. There we go.
Sorry about that, Marty. I was having some issues with my video or my volume, but hi.
Good morning. I figured you figured out that. That's all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's 10:01. Good morning, everybody. This is our every single month we have our brokerage meeting where we bring in some guests from corporate. We bring in our guest affiliates. We talk about brokerage updates. Every month is recorded. We're doing really well. We're getting about 100 reviews after the meeting. So that's why we record it and post it for you as well. So thank you for joining us this bright and early in the morning. We have some great guests this morning. Of course, this is kind of the menu today, welcoming. We're going to welcome our new agents to HomeSmart. We're going to have a little bit of a time with Angel Chambers from Minute Mortgage. We'll talk to Robert from our commercial corner from HSI Commercial. And then Gina's here to join us today. She's the manager, transaction services manager, agent ambassador. Anyway, Gina's awesome. She's going to talk to us about the whole process that we have behind the scenes. And then Ryan's going to talk to us about recruiting. And then we have a special guest, Madeline Kupfer. Is that right, Madeline? How do you spell it or I pronounce it?
Kupfer.
Okay.
Thank you.
From Muscular Moving Man, one of our nationwide affiliates, of course. Then all kinds about educational offerings, upcoming events, the brokerage updates. I really wanted to make sure everybody knew and reminders, and of course, celebrating your success. It's kind of the way we're going today. I added a little extra time to our meeting just because we have guests and want to make sure that everybody gets covered and no one's in a rush. So welcome again. This is recorded. This is the last slide I saw, which ends up the third. I know we have a new slide coming out this week. So if you've joined HomeSmart since the 3rd of March, welcome as well. But for the new agents, Shireen Arabani, Richard Bradshaw, Jocelyn Camarillo, Darlene Crane, Felicia Johnson, John Lang, Aaron Powell, Nathaniel Romero Rivera, and Tina Vasquez. Welcome to the family. All right. I'm going to let everybody in here. There we go. All right. As we're on the way here, we're going to want to remind everybody that if you're new to HomeSmart or not new, but if you have some questions, we still have our Smart Start series that are posted and available. So you want to know about how to navigate HomeSmart and our Real Smart Agent and all the stuff behind the scenes. It's still there on demand. And of course, we still have our Elevate series, which was done last year, all about your business and working here at HomeSmart as well. So great series that you can take part in or take advantage of in your free time if you have any. So, okay. Angel, thanks for joining us again. Angel here with Minute Mortgage, our Mortgage Minute. Take it away.
Perfect. Good morning. Hope everyone's spring is off to a great start. I feel like the year's already flying by as usual. So just want to give a quick update. I know we got a lot of speakers today, so I won't take much time, but kind of what's going on in the mortgage world. So we had inflation numbers that were released on Tuesday, and they were a little bit higher than expected, about 0.4%. So what that means for mortgage is that we're probably going to see a delay with the Fed's cutting interest rates in June, which is kind of the prediction. You know, they were supposed to be March, then kind of pushed to June. So now we're anticipating it's probably going to be a little bit later in the year. But I wanted to remind everybody, rates are still about 1% lower, if not a little bit more than where we were, kind of hovering around that 8% range. So still very reasonably, priced with rates kind of hovering in that 6.5% range. So I don't want people to get completely discouraged that, we're not going to see those rate cuts as early as we thought. But again, 6.5 is better than 8%. So also wanted to let you know, we're continuing to see a lot of really good enhancements to the first-time homebuyer programs. So we have some of the grant programs that are now offering up to $10,000 plus a free appraisal, as well as a 1-year home warranty. So there are some requirements for that, but I would love to be able to help you and your clients. Again, if they are a first-time home buyer, there are a lot of great options. And again, we're just really continuing to see them enhance that so that they can make home buying more affordable for everyone. And then there were a couple questions, I had asked Marty, is there anything that he's hearing on a regular basis, some questions that are coming up that may pertain to mortgage. And one of them was talking about interested party contributions. So I did ask Marty if he could, yep, there's the chart right there. So this is something that's really helpful to understand that when you have seller contributions or you as an agent want to contribute to the buyer, as well as maybe there's lender contributions, there are maximum percentages that you cannot exceed. So this chart here is very helpful to kind of know, what is that maximum contribution that can be done. So you'll see on kind of your traditional conventional loans, if it is greater than 90%, the max contribution is 3%. And that is going to be based off of the sales price. And then you'll kind of see that chart. I don't want to go through it line by line, but again, this is helpful. And this is something I can provide to all of you via email if you want to reach out. I know Marty sends out, a recording of this call as well. So something you guys can reference back to. But this is important, is just to make sure that you guys are not exceeding those percentages, especially as a transaction's being written up. The last question that came up is, and this is something that's kind of coming up in all markets, is what programs do we have available for first responders, nurses, veterans? So we actually don't have programs that are specific to those professions. However, we have a lot of what's considered lower income programs that are great for those professionals. As a matter of fact, I just closed on 2 teacher transactions, and very aggressive with the interest rate. The rate was probably about 6.25. Mortgage insurance was very low on that. So some great options, again, that make it affordable for some of those professionals. And then, of course, we have your traditional VA loans, which are always going to be aggressive with no mortgage insurance, 100% financing, and much lower interest rates. So again, depending who we're working with, we always try to find the best solution and best program that's available. And we can kind of shop that open market to see what we have available. So again, I wanted to remind you guys, I am available 7 days a week. So if you guys are out with your clients evenings and weekends, you have any mortgage questions or you need a pre-qualification, please do not hesitate to reach out. You all have my contact information and I'd be happy to help.
That's awesome. Now, I asked Angel specifically for the contribution amounts because we've had agents that contribute to a buyer's closing costs out of their commission. And way too often lately, the lender says, we can't take that much. It's too much and we have to adjust it because here are the limits. They can't receive any more. So if the buyer is receiving closing cost credits from the seller and from the agent or whatever, you got to watch out that you're not over exceeding this. And then
it
the
adds
basis,
up quickly.
yeah, it does add up quickly, and they can't accept anymore, and they can't get money back. It's just kind of one of those things, except on certain rare cases for VA. But I also asked the question because there's lots of questions around the lawsuits and changes around buyer compensation, buyer broker compensation, and it's at this point there's no way for that to be financed. So just something to be aware of to know the rates with these loans, the limits, I should say, right, Angel?
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I do want to point out, we try to be very creative because as Marty mentioned, it's something that they can't get the cash back. So we do not want to leave any money on the table. So we can get a little bit creative with some of that where we can pay up to 1 year of HOA dues. So we can kind of use it in other areas. But again, very important to be familiar with what that max contribution can be for the very reason you do not want to leave any money on the table. We can always do a sales price reduction as well. So again, there's some options, but great information to be aware of.
And one more question on that. So let's say you have extra money. Can you use it for a rate buy down? or does that exceed the limits as well?
You can, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And typically on something like that, if you're a 6.5 now, what would it take to buy it down to 6 for that matter?
I wish that it went in specific increments, but it doesn't. There's kind of a drop off point. So, it could be that an eighth lower in rate sometimes could be a couple $100. And then you'll see a huge shift where it, could be $1,000. So kind of just depending on what that range is that they're trying to hedge and get rid of for the interest rates. But typically, I mean, you're looking at probably $3,000 to $4,000, kind of in that range. Again, when you start going lower, the increments start increasing quite a bit with the dollar amount.
No, it makes sense. And just saying that being creative with the way that there's a limit, but there's ways to do a little bit more if you're creative with your lender. So, okay.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Any additional questions for Angel from Minute Mortgage? Anybody? Okay, Angel, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you, Marty.
You're welcome. All right. I'm gonna get it over here to Robert. I'll get hold here. All right, I'm gonna unpin. Slow with me. Unpin. There you go. Robert, you're up. I'll get you.
Yep, thanks, Marty. Can you hear me okay?
I got you.
Marty?
You're on. I got you. Yep, Robert. On here.
Okay, great. Thank you. So HSI Commercial, we're a team option at HomeSmart. So if you're doing commercial transactions and you want to learn more about joining our team, I put my contact information in the chat. Feel free to reach out. We've got a team meeting next Thursday. And if you'd like to join just to kind of see what we talk about on the commercial side, feel free to do that. Just send me an email and I'll add you to our regular team meeting invitation. And then also we love referrals. So if you have clients that need commercial assistance, we've got now 4 agents in Houston that are on our commercial team, and we're growing that every day. And we'd love to help you out. So just give me a call or send me an email. And then, obviously hit up all your clients. You never know, you might have a client that has a commercial need that you're just not aware of. Easy money, and throw that into a referral and we'll take care of it for you. Yeah, that's it really. If anybody's interested, just please contact me and I can give you more information about our team plan, how you can take advantage of that.
Robert, a couple questions. I had an agent reach out yesterday that had some clients in Corpus Christi. Do we have anybody that covers Corpus Christi that you know of, or are we looking for agents?
No, I mean, we certainly would be looking for an agent, but I do not. We do not have one there currently. I can check with the team to see if anybody's done deals there. Maybe there's somebody that in our team currently that has worked down there.
And then the second question I get a lot of is I have a lot of agents that haven't done commercial before, but's really interested in doing commercial, either full-time or more. Would they reach out to you to find out more, or what would you recommend they do? Take some classes first?
Yeah, I mean, if it's completely new to you and it's something you've never done, I always recommend as kind of a plan to join our team is that you take some classes that are offered through the local board to get kind of the basics of the language and deal structures and stuff like that. So we work with agents that are interested in joining and helping them kind of come up with an education and mentoring plan so they can kind of get up to speed.
See, that's what I like as well. A lot of people ask about the mentoring part or some coaching and the support you get being part of HSI Commercial. So, and I know you get discounted rates and that kind of stuff, but you are building a pretty nice team there. That's part of the things, right?
Yeah, it's great. I think we're still reaching out to people that weren't aware of our team that are actually active in commercial in the Houston area. So we're eager to get them to join us, and obviously folks from outside HomeSmart, getting them to come over and join us as well. So we do have some great discounts on CoStar, LoopNet, and Crexi that are available to agents in our team. So it's definitely good to take advantage of that.
Okay. Thanks, Robert. His contact information is in chat and also on the screen, and they'll be in the slide deck when we email them out to everybody. But thanks again, Robert, for HSI. All right. I'll just unpin Robert. And next up, we got Gina. Gina, I'm going to pin you first. Hold on here. There we go, pen. Buddy. All right, Gina, thank you again for joining us. Gina, of course, is again the transaction services manager. She's a big wig over there now, and the was it agent
Agent ambassador.
ambassador. So
Yes.
she's here to fight for us, and that's good. So I love it. So Gina, you have a slide deck here. Why don't you take it away?
Okay, cool. If you want to go on the next slide, so I can kind of explain what transaction services is. So we do have we used to have a closing team and also a paperwork team. Now we combine them all together. So now we're called the transaction services team. So the email that would be coming from us is going to be right there, the transaction services at hsmove.com. So you guys can, of course, if you guys are utilizing the paperwork at HSMove or closing at HSMove, it is still coming to us, but try to use the transaction services because that's our new email. Those are the numbers that you guys can call to reach us as well. We are here to help you guys with commission questions or even paperwork questions, anything about your files being incomplete or anything about why, like your checks and stuff like that too, and your order to pays. I know some people are a little confused about that too. So I am going to go over that as well to make sure it's like a smooth process for everybody. If you want to go to the next slide.
Awesome. Okay. Remember these numbers, everybody, and email.
Yes. So here's an important part where I feel like a lot of agents are kind of missing. So this is right here where it's on your guys' transaction pages, I should say. So these are your required docs that need to be in your guys' file for us to be able to release your check for at the closing table. So you want to make sure that all your documents are complete and fully executed. So there are times when you see green check marks. And if you go to the next slide, Marty, some people miss this little area. So this is the transaction review items. So there could be, you could have turned in your documents, but there might be some corrections that either Marty has left behind for you or the paperwork or the transaction services team has left behind for you. So you just always want to make sure you're reading through this as well and turning in those corrections as well, just so we can be able to release your guys' commission to you guys at the closing table so you guys can get paid faster. Next slide. Thank you. So also right here, we do get a lot of questions. So if you guys see that the commission instructions have not been sent, that is probably because it's maybe too far ahead. So we do send them out 5 days before your guys' closing date. So of course, if your closing date is not updated, then it's not going to pop up in our queue to be able to send to you guys. So make sure that is always updated. The closing packet not received. So that is kind of an indicator that we haven't received anything from title. So we haven't received the settlement statement or the HomeSmart check, because I know a lot of people are like, why is this file still pending? Like it's actually really close. And then you guys can kind of indicate right there that we haven't received anything from title. Next slide.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I kind of wanted to go over the tabs where you guys create files. So the general, of course, is going to be the general information about the property. The agents tab is going to be, of course, where you're going to put the agents that are involved in the transaction. So the referral tab, though, I kind of wanted to go over because I know some people use outside TCs that are not HomeSmart agents. Please make sure you guys are putting the outside TCs under the referrals. If you're using a HomeSmart TC, of course, then you're going to go to the agents tab and then put them as a TC in there. I know that sometimes people just write in the special instructions, but you guys can always put those in there as well. And then, of course, it won't be missed on the commission instructions, of course.
Hey, Gina, on that, we see a lot of agents that are on part of teams where they put in their team member as a referral. Is that correct or incorrect?
If you're on a team, you want to put them under the agents tab because you guys are kind of acting as a team on the file instead of as a referral. Under the vendors tab, this is kind of also very important too. You always want to make sure that the title information that you guys input in there is correct, as if we're sending out the order to pays for you guys to approve and you're hitting that confirm button, that's the email address it's going to. So you want to always make sure that little section is always correct. And, you know, if it's incorrect, you can always go ahead and update it before we send out the order to pay, or even if we send out the order to pay, you can always update it there too.
We had one recently, for everybody's knowledge, where they emailed out to title, but someone had put in title at abc.com, thinking they go back and fix it, but it wasn't going anywhere because it was a fake email address. So
right, exactly. Yeah, there's just times where people, you know, they're just They may be just choosing a title rep that they see in there, but they don't see the email address that's not correct, of course. And then we're sending it out, and then people are like, my title rep's not getting it. But it's that email address you always want to check on. If you want to go to the next slide for me.
Yep.
Perfect. So this is the commission tab. So I just wanted to kind of go over it with you guys. The agent buyer fee, you guys might see that. That's a new feature that we have implemented, I think about maybe 2 months ago now. So let's say that your clients are paying for your transaction fees, like you guys came in agreement with that. That's where you guys are going to input that. So let's say you're charging your clients $500, input that there. And then right underneath, you're going to put your gross commission though. Because I see some people, they may get a little confused on where they're putting their commission amount. Some people put that 3% up on the buyer fee, and then we're like, $3. So just make sure you guys are putting it in the right section, and then you guys should be good on that part.
I've seen this in other states, especially in Colorado and other, I think Arizona as well, where the listing agent will list a property and say, I'm going to list a property for 5% plus $600 transaction fee. So they're covering the HomeSmart. That's where this comes in. You would put the $600 in the agent buyer fee, and then you have your commission being made. So
exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Marty.
You're welcome. Next slide.
Yes, please. Of course, you guys please utilize the little special instructions section. So we read that as we're sending out your guys' files, your commission instructions, reviewing your files. So anything you guys want to let us know that may be happening that you may have missed, you guys can type that in there, and then we will review that as well. Next slide. So this little section, I kind of wanted to go over it with you as well. This is where your agent profile is on your RSA. So paid by title, there is a few options, I should say, that you guys can choose. So paid by title is what you guys want, or how you guys want to get paid by title. So there's wire transfer. There is going to be a check for, I think it should say home, or it's going to say corporate, or it should say, I think that's all the options actually. So if you want to get wired from title, of course, choose a wire transfer, but make sure you guys put your wire information there. If you want a check to be mailed to your house because you're not going to make it to the closing table, make sure you guys choose home on there. And then of course, if you guys choose the corporate office, it's going to be going to your office. So then when it does go to the Houston office, then one of our gals over there will notify you guys that it's there for you guys to pick up. The other little section that I feel like some people may get a little confused about is a pay by broker. So let's say that title, or you have a rental file, clients are sending us a check. That's right there. You're going to indicate how you guys want to get paid by us. Do you want an e-check or do you want an ACH? ACHs, of course, we push them out every morning, and they should be same day that hits your account. Or you guys can get an e-check, which is an email check, which comes automatically to your email, print it off and take it to your bank, and then it's deposited.
I found on the ACH, it's probably 24 hours to 48 sometimes. It's been on which bank you're in. So yeah, just so you know. Yeah. Question, I know one comes up a lot from our agents. They want to get paid at closing, but the CDA says paid it by HomeSmart. Typically it's because something needs to be reviewed or the file isn't complete. Is that correct?
Yes, that is very correct. Yes. If you guys see on your commission instructions when you're reviewing it that we sent out and it just says HomeSmart is getting all the money, that is probably because there is something in your document section that is missing that needs to be completed. So of course, just check the document side of it, make sure that everything looks good. The transaction review items are all complete as well, because that's very important. And of course, once you guys complete your file, we can definitely send out a new order to pay to have title pay you guys at closing table.
So on that too, let's say that they've got something where they got CDA says paid at HomeSmart. They go in, fix the file. The file's reviewed. Does a new OTPC get sent out automatically, or do they have to call and get it sent out, a new one?
Not automatically, but let's say they're already on the phone talking to us to review the paperwork that's on there. We would send it out on that call or on that email. It doesn't go out automatically, but of course you guys just can let us know that the file is finally complete, and then we can do that for you guys.
Okay, so it takes notice. That's what a lot of questions come by. All right, it's done. Well, I know it's
yeah,
done.
no, I get it.
Okay, and then once they've approved it, do they have to approve any updates?
What do you mean by that?
Well, let's say that they've had a OTPC, they've approved, and then they decide to credit more to the buyer, so they need to change their OTPC. Is it come back to them for approval again in their Back
Yes,
office?
it will, because it's going to come back to us to review again, and then we'll send out another one for them to review. And then it should show correctly after they inputted everything on the file.
Perfect. Okay.
And
You
then
have
I think I have one more slide, maybe.
Okay. Here we go.
Perfect. So this right here is your RSA dashboard. So when we send out the commission instructions to you guys can see right here the file status is incomplete or complete. You just want to always make sure you guys are hitting the confirm button, because if this is not confirmed, it will push out, the system will push out a commission instructions to your title rep. So you always want to make sure that you guys are reviewing it, because there are times that people are like, I didn't approve it, but of course it may have taken a few days for you guys to approve, and we just pushed it out for you guys so we didn't miss that little timeline.
Now, on that, there's some agents have called, said that there's a button there to confirm, but they push it and won't work. What is that? Is that
So if
ever happened?
it's grayed out, that means that we haven't actually sent it out to you guys
Gotcha.
yet. So if
Gotcha.
it's blue, though, that means that we have sent it to you guys for you to review. But if it's not blue, that means that we are still working on it.
Okay. See, that's
Yeah.
good.
Cool.
Any questions for Gina? That was pretty good. Sort of how the process has worked and working now, right? So
Yes.
Jeanette has a question. Go ahead, Jeanette. You have to unmute yourself though first. Jeanette?
There you go. Okay,
There we go. Okay.
thank you. Okay, so if your files are complete and it's been accepted, okay, and we're to the point where we have to go and tell them how we want our money, okay, which option do we pick again? Because there was the home, there was the wire, there was the broker. Which one is it at the table?
So as of right now, we don't have an option that says pick up at table, like at title. So I am trying to see if we can get that implemented in, because I know a lot of you guys do want to get it picked up at the table, like a check maybe, and not a wire. But if it does say yes on releasing the commission, the title company can give it to you guys at the closing table.
Okay, so it should be the option of going to the broker then, right? Because we don't want a wire. We don't want them to send it to the house. So it'd be the third option of going to the broker.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. And as
Okay.
long as it says
Okay.
yes on releasing payment, then the title company can give it to you guys at the closing table.
And is your number the central number? Like there used to be like department that cut, that did the closings. And there was another department that did that. So is there just your central number now?
Yep, we're just all one big team now, so you guys can call that line, and then we can do your guys' paperwork and also the commission all at once.
Right. Thank you.
Of course.
Gina, thank you very much. That's very informative. Very
Of
helpful.
course.
All right. Let me see. I'm gonna get you off unpinned here. Hold on, Ryan. I'll get you in a second.
No worries.
And then we got Mr. Ryan, our career services recruiter guy. So everybody, here we go. Still got to be able to see your shiny face. There we go.
There we go. Oh, don't look at me now. I'm sick, so
Uh-oh.
it's short and sweet. I don't feel well.
That was virtual then. That's good. Thanks for joining us.
Anyway, I just wanted to say what you showed that slide earlier with the 9 new agents. 9 new agents. That was 1 week. 4 of them were from y'all. So y'all are absolutely awesome. I love y'all. Y'all do a great deal of my job for me. It makes us a bigger, stronger brokerage. So please keep them coming. In fact, I have to do a analysis of my brain is full of.
Okay, you're probably medicated, so we're good.
So I have to do an analysis of the competition just to see what's going on, and I mean across the board, all of them are shrinking incrementally. It's something I've noticed. We've been growing and getting stronger and bigger. So rising tide lifts all boats. You guys are absolutely awesome. Keep sending us more awesome agents to make us bigger and stronger. If you don't know the process, I still have a lot of folks that are calling the careers line to get a hold of me, which is fine. But you can also just give them my direct number. It's probably a little more convenient. They don't have to go through any kind of automated system for that. So give me a second. I'm going to post my number and my contact information in the chat just in case you don't have it. But put it in your phone, keep it. You never know when you come across an agent that's looking to help their career and be in a different spot. So yeah, you can do it that way. And I also go about it however you want me to. So if you want me to contact them first, I'll contact them first. If you want to contact them and have them reach out to me, don't hesitate. That's perfectly fine. I'm super low pressure. I'm not going to bug any of y'all's friends that are on the other side of the table, any of y'all's other agents. So I just like to tell them all about HomeSmart and what makes us so awesome, and have them decide to join for themselves. And 99% do after they hear about it. So I just want to reach out. Thanks. Oh, we still have the promotion too. So a lot of folks, we have a couple folks that have already participated. They're in it. They got their $300 credit. We have some folks that are on the cusp. If you give me 3 people and they join the brokerage, and it's cumulative, so it doesn't have to be, it's not within a certain time frame. We add them all up. Once that happens, you get basically a year dues free. Well, $300 credit towards your dues. So it's pretty nice spip there. So reach out if you need absolutely anything. I'll put my info in the chat.
So we still have the promotion. That's awesome. And of course, Ryan is the guy that, you know, when someone wants to know, well, what's the plans, what's available, what's offered, how do I access this? It is by far better than calling me. But yeah, call Ryan, get credit for bringing people and growing our team. So it's awesome.
That's
so Ryan.
Good. So yeah, if anyone ever does like a plan change, maybe you move from your option A to you want to join a team, or you want to, you know, something like that, then it would be agent services. So reach out to agent services for the plan change. They can help you with that. If you want to refer someone, reach out to me. If you want to start a team though, reach out to me too, because I can help you with that. I know it's confusing. If you want to join a team, reach out to agent services and they can throw you on the team. If you want to start a team, I can help you with that process as well. Since I'm recruiting, then you'll be recruiting. And then, you know, I love assisting folks in starting their team. So that's another way I can help you too. Marty has, you know, very little to do with that. So so don't hesitate to go, you know, straight to me or agent services for things like that. And then someone had a question. Did they take it away?
Maybe. Let me see. Anybody have a question? You can raise your hand or unmute yourself. Sorry about the dogs barking. We have someone at the front door. Go figure. Ryan, as always, thank you, sir. Get better soon, please.
Oh, I will. Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is, but I'll get over it. Y'all keep rocking it though. Thank you.
Okay, next up, obviously our affiliates are very important to the company and to each one of us. We talk about Minute Mortgage. They are a part of the family. They're actually owned by HomeSmart. We're part of one and the same. We had Angel earlier. We have those that partner with us either at the Houston level, Texas level, or nationwide. Of course, that's Solar Shield, American Home Shield, Utility Concierge, and Muscular Moving Man and Storage. And today I asked, I'll go through these real quick. There you go. I asked Madeline to join us. She's from Muscular Moving Man and Storage to tell us about this great national sponsor. They partner with HomeSmart for several years now, but now they're in every state with us. So I want to, first of all, I'll pin you first, Madeline. There we go. Pin to screen. Everybody, pin this tile. All right, Madeline, you are up.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for having me here this morning, Marty. I'm really excited to get to know all of you and the Houston market and see how we can be a resource for you and tell you all about our national moving program. So like Marty said, we are new nationally and at the Houston level for long distance moving, but we are no stranger to HomeSmart. We've actually been a partner of HomeSmart over 8 years now on the Arizona level, but just recently expanded out to the national level with our long distance moving program. So that being said, we're also no stranger to long distance moves. We've been doing them for years, but there's a ton of things that just make us unique, and we just want to be here as a resource for you. So once again, we've been partnered for over 8 years with HomeSmart. We've completed over 30,000 moves, and we've been in the business going on 16 years this year. Oh, there's my slides. I was just gonna wing it. You can go to the next one. And there's a lot of things that go into moving, and this is something that we take, you know, to heart. So of course, you know about the boxes and about the trucks. Everybody knows the basics, but there's so much more that we put into it when it comes to every single move for your clients. We have this really great video just about who we are that I'm going to share at the end. I'll actually put it in the chat for you to watch on your own time. But again, it just shows all the different departments that have to come together, especially to make these long distance moves happen. You know, we have our operations team, our sales specialists. We also have safety and fleet. People are always looking out for the safety of the trucks, of the movers. We have all these different moving parts, you know, so again, this is something great for you to watch just so you can get to know us a little bit more. But I think it's also something that's really great to share with your clients when they are looking for a moving partner and vetting a mover. And then I'll get into the requested quote a little bit later. So if you want to go to the next slide. So a little bit about us before this. We're a local to Arizona and now national long distance moving partner, but we're also an independent mover. And this is something that makes us really unique. And this is why we're able to focus on customer service and our agent relationships. So in order to understand why that independent part is so special, I kind of just want to go over the different players in long distance moving and kind of the industry as a whole. Of course, we're here to earn your business and move your clients, but we also really want to be here to educate you so that you can have another tool in your toolbox when it comes to helping out your clients and just telling them about moving, what to look for, who to watch out for, everything they should do when they're vetting a moving partner. So again, long distance moving carriers, there's 4 main players. So the first one I'm going to go over is those van lines. When you think of national moving companies, you think of long distance moving, these are kind of the bread and butter ones that you think about. So I'm sure everybody's heard of, you know, an Allied or a Mayflower. Those are those big national van lines. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with those. They are those larger companies. They do tend to be franchised out in different states. So you might get a little bit of lack of consistency when it comes to service. You know, if you're starting in Texas and you're ending in Florida, you're calling a 1-800 number should your clients have questions during the move, just so, you know, you kind of lose that personal touch. Number 2 I want to go over is our brokers. So these are the ones we're really set out this year to educate people on. These are the bad guys in the industry. Unfortunately, there are some bad players. Everybody I know has told me a horror story with moving, and it breaks my heart. So I'm like, we're here to get rid of those guys and just to watch out for them and just be really advocates for our clients. So brokers are companies that pose as moving companies, but they actually don't own any trucks. They don't have any of their own movers employed, and they typically pop up first on Google and they'll lowball your clients when it comes to price. So gain your client's business, give them this really low price, and then they actually turn around and sell your client's job to a legitimate moving company. So then moving day comes, all of a sudden there's a different company coming to your client's door to pick up their stuff. You know, moving is one of the top stressors in people's lives. So I always say we try to go for no surprises when it comes to move day. You know, tension's high. You have another moving company show up at your door. And then because the original price was so lowballed, once the move is completed, this other moving company is going to come with a price that might be double or triple. So there's definitely cases of price gouging, all these bad things. Again, these are the ones you just want to educate your clients to look out for. So you can do a self move. I'm sure everybody here has moved themselves at least once. It's a real fun time, long distance wise too, just so stressful. But if you can do it, power to you. So you rent your own truck or container, you take care of all the handling, the unloading, and the packing. Totally fine option, just another one out there. And then lastly is going to be those independent movers. So like Muscular Moving Men in Storage. It means we're owned and operated under one team. We have the opportunity to really be consistent with our communication, focus on customer service, give that personal touch. You know, our bread and butter of clients is referrals and our agent clients. So again, we really pride ourselves on relationship building and maintaining, and we have the opportunity to loop you into the moving process as much or as little as you want to be when it comes to your clients' moves. We got a question.
Hi, Madeline. My name's Vara. I've got a question for you. I'm working with a client just now. She's a concert pianist, and she has always great difficulty getting specialist movers to move her grand piano. Do you guys manage that? And can you give me an indicator of price range for moving such an item?
Absolutely. That's a great question. What a special client. That's really cool. So when it comes to grand pianos, this is something that movers actually have to be specially trained on, which is why she probably finds such difficulty when it comes to finding movers for those things. You can't move them just like any other piece of furniture. As I'm sure you know, there's a lot of crating and special just kind of team work that goes into that. So number one, I would have her ask movers when she's vetting if they have been trained to move and pack grand pianos. Number two, if they work with crating companies, those are going to really help with those high-end pieces. And number three, when it comes to us, we can absolutely handle this. When it comes to pricing, everything we do is going to be based on inventory size and distance. So it depends kind of where she's going, how much other stuff she has, but all of our quotes are no obligation. So I'd love to talk to you. I'll give you my information too, and we can connect on that.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Catherine's got a question. Go ahead, Catherine.
Hi, Madeline. I have a question about, are there any specials that you do for like military relocations? Do you have a division that handles that or anything?
Yes, so we actually do handle military relocation. Right now, we're actually working on the storage part. There's a lot of different kind of qualifications that go into that, but we can handle military relocation, and we do have veteran discounts.
Back to the piano thing. I've moved a grand piano cross country a couple times. It's a pain. So yeah, that is good to know. So, okay.
Yes, it's not something you can just throw up on a dolly, like the standing pianos. So it's definitely a beast in its own.
Indeed. Do you have next slide here?
I do have a next slide. And going on the piano question, that was a great question too. So we really focus on training. We don't have day laborers. We actually have full-time movers on our team. So before they're released out into the field, they actually get pack trained, they get move trained, they go through all these different kinds of trainings. We actually have a mock moving truck in our warehouse. I have to do a warehouse tour sometime. It's really cool with, tight corners and winding stairs. So they really get that experience. And then once they've been there for a while is when they start getting that specialty training. So with pianos, we have sleep number beds, exercise equipment, all that good stuff. So this is just kind of an outline of our services. Of course, we do local and long distance moving. Right now, we're local in the Arizona area. But that being said, this has to do with our long distance program and local moves in general. So we actually have someone on our team who's our national partnership director. So he goes and vets other local independent moving companies that are similar to us in all different states. And we actually facilitate their long distance moves for them. And in return, let's say, we're doing an unload in Colorado. That's actually where we get the rest of our labor, but it's still our truck and our driver. So our driver is kind of like our team lead. We have full service storage, junk removal, liquidation, donation. We always try to donate if we can. Full service packing, specialize in senior moves, which as we know, takes a little bit of extra care and patience, especially if you have family out of town trying to coordinate. And then we do have preferred partner pricing. So it's really important if you do have a client who calls in, make sure that they mention HomeSmart in your name so that we can take care of them.
That's what I wanted to know as well. So question on that too, a lot of our agents like to give client gifts, right? Either their credit to closing or a closing gift or whatever. Are the agents allowed to contribute toward maybe a move package or something like that?
Yes, absolutely. So we have agents do this all the time, whether you want to contribute to the actual move cost or if you want to contribute to some sort of packing. Another perk that we have is we do free packing starter kits. Right now it's hard in the, in the Texas area, but they can get a credit for that if they do decide to use packing material. And we just say it's a gift from you guys.
Awesome. Very awesome. Okay.
All right. I always like to leave everybody with a little bit of knowledge. Knowledge equals power, right? So industry facts, we are sitting on tons of tips and tricks and educational stuff. So if you're ever looking for stuff, if you're not bored yet and you want to hear more about moving, trust me, I have tons of it. So this one I thought was interesting. The average American moves 11 times in their life. And at first I was like, this sounds a little bit crazy until I started counting how many times I've already moved. And I will probably far surpass that 11 number. And then according to census data, 28 million or 8.4% of all Americans moved last year. Typically about 10% of Americans move every year, right? So even when it feels like a speedy kind of not moving year, still we kind of range in that about 10% area. Of course, everything kind of follows economic trends, but people are still out there moving. Not as much as in the 1950s, though. Half as many Americans move today than in the 1950s. We did see a peak of long distance moving, though, in 2020 when people had the opportunity to move remote. Moving trends, everybody came from the northern states to the southern states. We're still seeing that a little bit. And then May is National Moving Month. So out of those 28 million people, 60% of them move between May and August. So summer's busy season. This is something all across the country. So we are kind of getting up there, which is crazy. This year's flying by. So just educate your clients during that busy season, just to give them a little bit more leeway. Have them book about 4 to 6 weeks in advance if possible.
Okay. So basically 28 million people, about the size of the state of Texas. So the state of Texas, the number of people move every single year, it seems like. That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people. I know. And I'm like, even when it feels like a sleepy, not moving year, people are going.
That's right.
Right.
They got to move. They got to buy houses. They got to sell houses. That's right. It's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then how to request a quote. So we actually have a special co-branded landing page for HomeSmart agents. If you go ahead and you can scan that QR code, I'll also drop just the URL for the co-branded landing page in the chat afterwards. But again, it goes straight to this page. It has HomeSmart branding on it, shows that we are a legitimate partner. All you have to do is fill out your client's information or send this to your client to fill out for themselves. And it goes instantly to our team. From there, one of our moving consultants will contact the client directly. So of course they can call into the office, but this just makes our sales specialists kind of reach out to them first. They set up virtual on-site estimates. So rather than just over the phone, they'll do a Zoom or a FaceTime walk through the property so they really get eyes on it. And then from there, the estimate is sent. And then we actually continue to confirm, move dates, inventory, all these things with the clients prior to the move day. So it's not a book and then see you at the move. We're really in contact throughout that whole time. We know things change. We just want to be constant communication. Again, no surprises on move day. So I have tons of stuff I could go on forever, but we're just really, really proud and happy to be here and really getting, looking forward to getting to know you all, hopefully coming to visit the office at some point, but just want to be here as a resource. If anyone has questions, even if we can't do it, we usually have somebody who can. So feel free to reach out to me.
Madeline, thank you very much for joining us today. Jeanette, you have a quick question?
Yes, about the piano. So you do or you don't have people to move the piano?
She does.
We do.
Not a baby grand, not a grand, just an upright. You do
Yeah,
have
so
people to
actually,
move it?
we do. What's interesting with the upright pianos is you can actually pad shrink wrap it similar to a dresser. So those are actually a lot easier to move.
Okay. Great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Madeline, thank you for joining us. Obviously, I've heard lots of great things from our Arizona agents about muscular movement and storage, rave reviews. So it's a tool in our tool belt for agents here when our clients ask us, what about movers? What about this? Well, we have a great partner in muscular movement. Give them a shot. Thanks again, Madeline.
Thank you, Marty.
You're welcome. All right. All right. Get myself up here on here. Pin screen for everybody. Now it's my turn, everybody. All right. So Madeline's information's in the chat. Ryan's information's in the chat. And Angel's information's in the chat. Obviously, Robert's as well. So make sure this is all saved on your slide decks, but I want to make sure that you know to grab it, screenshot it, or whatever. We've got some really cool stuff here happening at HomeSmart. Obviously, I always show the screen every single month, just so you know, it's kind of all the stuff we're doing on a monthly and bi-monthly and quarterly basis. Just so you know, to look for your calendar invites to make sure they're not going to spam email. Make sure you're accepting them. And of course, you're showing up for our brokerage meetings, our Friday fundamentals trainings, our coffee with a broker. We do two. We do a virtual coffee, which is like office hours every other Tuesday, just there to answer any contract questions or scenarios and kind of learn from each other. Those have been slower lately. I'm doing a coffee with a broker, coffee and donuts with a broker in different locations. We've had two recently, and we'll talk more about that in a second. We're trying to go to where you are in your neighborhood, where you live, and have coffee and get to know each other. So it's been fun. All right. First one looks like, yes, Dad. Go ahead.
Hey, Marty,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Yes, sir.
Good morning. So
Morning.
somewhere, I can't remember exactly where I found this document that kind of lists all the partners in a really fine looking format. I can't remember where I found that. Do you still can you direct me? I can print that out. It's easy to see and it's easy to give it to clients.
Sure. I'll send that out after the meeting with the slide deck and review. So that's a
Thank
good
you, sir.
idea. So you're welcome. All right. On the screen, we just this was last month's February's class, which was after our meeting. We had the Legal 2 class. It was packed both online and in person. These are clock hour classes being provided to you by HomeSmart. They're free to you, but we are paying for them. But we've had great turnout and people have enjoyed them a lot. Yesterday, we had our contracts 1 to 4 family class, also full online and in person. So we're doing the 2 classes at the same time, the virtual part and the in-person. These are first come, first serve. And I sent out an email yesterday about making sure that if you confirm that you're going, you're saving yourself a spot that you show up, or you let me know that you can't make it, because it does. We do spend money for per person per class that we pay no matter whether you show up or not. And we also pay for the food that are for those that come in person. So make sure if you're not going to make it, let me know so we can let somebody else go instead. This is yesterday we had a guest provide us lunch. It was great from Madeline's. That was Artavia, a master plan community up in Conroe. Very nice of them to provide lunch. So those that got it probably enjoyed it. Those that didn't, just, this is every once in a while we get a surprise at our trainings and so forth, and support them. Okay, we have our April classes coming up. As of yesterday, there were 20 spots available for the in-person class. The virtual class was full. It may be full already. We're trying to add as much as we can. We started off with a limit of 50. We're now a limit of 60. Once again, it's per student class. But we will have our May class posted probably in a week. But this is the tentative schedule going forward as far as the clock hour classes for you. So we are doing contracts all about the addenda next month. We're doing a brand new buyer tenant agency class in May. This is Shrek just created it because all the changes around buyer compensation, buyer broker compensation, and the conversation around our buyer tenant rep agreements. So this should be it's not been taught before. So this is brand new for Texas and brand new for the school and for us. So it's gonna be a good class. And then we'll follow up that probably with Code of Ethics after that. And then the rest of it is kind of tentatively loose. We're going to find classes that people want. Somewhere in there we'll have broker responsibility, but these are the ones that we have penciled in. But if there's a specific class that we haven't had already that you really, really want, let me know, and we'll see if they offer it, and we can arrange things for the rest of the year. But it's on the second Wednesday of every month, and they're both doing virtual and in person, and it's been really, really well received. So thank you all for participating. Okay, on the Friday fundamentals, we just finished last week sort of the listing side of things. We kind of went through networking, preparing your listing, the listing appointment, sort of listings once you get a contract to close, the sort of role, the fundamentals of being a listing agent and helping market and sell a property, and working with other agents as well. Now we're going to flip over to the buyer side. So not this Friday, but the following Friday, we start off a buyer series, just the fundamentals of working with a buyer tenant rep agreement, finding a property, negotiating a property, the roles and the things that you're focusing on as a buyer's agent, whether it be inspection, the option period, and so forth. We're going to talk about those things. And then we'll start after that. We'll go into tenants, working with listing properties for sale, and then of course working with tenants, the unique differences for an agent when they're working with a tenant that's different than working with a purchaser. So just keep that in mind. But those are every other Friday unless I cancel them. But those are not CE classes, but those are done virtually, and they're short, typically 30 to 45 minutes, just to add value to your lives if possible. The one thing you all got was the smart Zoom. We do one every single month. Last month was about lead generation. This month is about appraisals. In any changing market, appraisers are typically behind. So in a rising market, you'll get comps that are less than the market's going at. On a declining market, you'll have comps typically coming in higher than they should. The appraisal process is important for agents to be familiar with. So they can deal with, things that don't come in right or what they expect and so forth, and how an appraiser comes to a point of value. So this is available as well. You can sign up in your Real Smart agent under your class schedule. You can just register for that online. All right, events. I talked about that. First of all, we had our second coffee and donuts with the broker in the Richmond area, like for the Katy, Richmond, Cypress area. We had our first one in the Woodlands. It had a huge turnout. This is another one of those things where we had 15 agents sign up for it, and we had 3 show up. So this is I buy donuts for the number of people that register. We go to a local coffee shop. Jeff Brokerage here. These were his clients. It was really, really good. I had a great time with Mr. Bill and Karen and Jeff. Great conversation, but this is designed just to meet you where you're at. So the next one we're planning for in May, or not May, but end of April, first part of May. I'll get the date out exactly. Probably in the Sugar Land areas. I think the next target, we're working our way around, and then we'll do one in the Galleria, probably one up in the Humboldt, Atascocita area. It's kind of going to find a local coffee shop, bringing donuts, and just getting together. And what I've seen so far in the 2 we've done is agents meet each other, realize they start referring business to each other, and start coming up with some great plans. Some teams have even been formed out of just meeting for these coffee with a broker. So really, really fun stuff. Hope you enjoy them and you take part in them. Since last meeting, we had our Growth Summit. We had a team go out to Las Vegas for the Growth Summit 24. This is where the once a year celebration of the previous year's success, what's going on in the market, what's going on with HomeSmart, sort of changes. It's a place to network and meet people, meet our affiliates and our sponsors and so forth. It was fantastic. They were going to go to an every other year Growth Summit, but they found out, or they were reminded that next year is HomeSmart's 25th anniversary. So there's going to be something next year. We just don't know what it looks like yet. But the team that went out with us, we had 8 of us out there. Here's the group at lunch on the first day. Here is us at dinner on the second night there all together at a really nice Chinese restaurant. And this right here, you can't tell really, but that is Jessica Lee receiving her 5 Diamond Award on the stage there at Growth Summit. So give it up for Jessica and the team that came out, but had a lot of fun. Then this is something where audience participation. I want you to email me or comment in the chat or whatever. We're planning our summer party, our summer event for the agents. And so we want, it gets hot in the summer. We're looking at probably around June 29th or whatever. So it's before the 4th of July. We don't have a date set yet, but we looked at outdoor parks, but we don't want you guys to melt either. So we got a couple ideas, either a house party with a pool where we get like a vacation home where we could actually have fun, have games. People could bring their kids and jump in the pool and do whatever. We could rent a park pavilion with barbecue and hot dogs and whatever, or we can rent out like a bowling alley. So these are some of the ideas we're playing with. Send me your ideas. If any one of these strikes your fancy, let me know. It'd be fun for us to just get to know each other, hang out together, and celebrate our summer party together here at HomeSmart Houston. And if you have additional ideas, please email me. That's what we're here for. Okay. Elite events. Those that are the top 150 agents for HomeSmart Houston, we do a quarterly event for our agents. Yeah, barbecue. There you go. We do a quarterly event that's a special training, a special event, a special out. We're planning one May 29th for our top 150. That you will get an email and invite if you make that note. And we reset it every single year. So we'll be adding more people to our top 150. Okay. A reminder, we've got about 1,700 agents that are associated with our office in the Houston area. Our internal way of communicating is through a closed Facebook group, the HomeSmart Houston Agent Connection. So we post a lot of updates there, a lot of reminders there. opportunities there, ways to share open house requests, referrals, and whatever. We've got about 300 of our agents that are signed up. So if you haven't signed up yet, make sure you request admission to the Facebook group, and I'll make sure that you're admitted so that you can take part in that part of the community. Okay, here's the brokerage stuff. I want to cover this stuff in the last half hour here. A lot of questions around fines and fees. We've talked about this probably for about 6 months now. Our goal is not to fine or penalize our agents. Our goal is to be in compliance with TREC. And so we have to get our documents in. And so we send out at least 2 or 3 reminders to every agent when there's not a file created. If there's listings in the MLS, but there's no transaction file created, we give you a notice, and then we give you another notice. But and then if we have to create a file for you, we will charge a fee because it takes work. TREC requires us to have every executed contract in our possession within 5 days, and we have to hold it for 4 years. For canceled contracts, terminated contracts, anything executed, we have to have. So that's why we reach out to you and help you stay in compliance with TREC as well. Late paperwork as well. If you're missing something, you send in a late paperwork explanation. It helps us understand why the paperwork's late, so we don't have to charge you a fee. If we don't get that, though, we have to figure out, okay, now we're in trouble. We're in risk of being in trouble with TREC, and you haven't responded, so there's a fee there. Some of these things, it's just about reminding. We've got transaction files that we're still trying to get documents from 2022, and so that's the risk of it. Is we will give you your check as soon as we can. There are times, though, when you've gotten your check, but the file's not complete. It's because HomeSmart is being gracious to allow you to get paid. But we have a lot of comments from agents saying, well, I've got my check, so the file must be complete. No, we got your check because we want you to get paid. But we still need you to complete your file. This is where the fines come in because we don't want to be out of compliance with TREC. Now, a couple agents, like I said, that have been dealing with files in 2022 where they've gotten multiple notices. We've worked with them, but there's been a couple forfeiture commissions. This is one of those things that's in our policies and procedures. They don't want to do it. That's the worst thing that could happen. If you work really hard, you earn a commission, and then you do not comply over time, over a year, over 2 years, then you lose your commission. That's not good. So once again, the goal is compliance for everybody, not punishment. So help us help you, if that makes sense, right?
Hi,
All right.
Marty.
Yeah, Jeanette.
Marty, question. I have a question. Okay, this just recently happened. It was the first time it ever happened. The HomeSmart office, the file, they had a closing, the closing instructions, the commission package was sent to the title company. And we actually closed the file, but then the HomeSmart they emailed me a couple of times stating that they had not received the HUD statements
From title.
So when does HomeSmart usually get those? Because this is the first time I've ever gotten this.
Whenever HomeSmart gets paid, we get the closing statement. So if you get the payment at closing, and then HomeSmart gets the $500 fee or $400 fee, when we get that check is when we get the closing statement. So when we don't have a closing statement, it means we didn't get paid at that point in time. So we're waiting for it.
Yeah. Well, it was a weird situation where we had closing on Friday, but it was very late, so it didn't fund until Monday.
Gotcha.
And so I was getting emails from HomeSmart already saying, where's the HUD statement? Like, where's my money?
Right. And those are automated, unfortunately. So once you get close to your closing date, you'll start getting emails that are just generated automatically. Most of those, as long as you're on top of it, you can ignore. But if you need to change your closing date, make sure you change it in the system. So you change the notification schedule. For that, there's not much we can do about that. It just is an automated email saying, hey, it says we closed, but we don't have the documents.
Yeah,
so.
I just would have freaked if it hadn't closed, but as it was, we're just waiting on the money. So
Yep. There we go. Next up, we have Associate Broker. It's the broker assistant app. It's out there for people to apply for. We've gotten many applications already. That's awesome. We're getting more, probably 2-3 a day. We're taking applications. It's going to be based in the gallery office. You do need to have your broker's license. You're part of the broker team, answering broker questions, answering broker emails, reviewing files as well. So you're working for me. So that's one of those things that we'll weed out some. or close of it. But it's the idea that we are very close, as we are interviewing and the job posted, that within a month or two, we're going to have an assistant broker to offer additional support for all of you, which is going to be really great for events, for phone calls, for returning your emails. We tried to do a good job already, but it's going to be even better. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, a change here at the local level for a lot of you that do locators. This is apartment locators. This is a constant sort of tracking down money is always an issue for us, because what this happens is those that do this, they send a potential tenant that's not a client to an apartment building, and they get credit for sending the referral, if you will. So these have been listed as leases. They've been created as rental transactions. They've been created as referral transactions. And of course, when those are created, the referral or rental, they ask you for additional documents that come with a typical rental or referral that aren't typically needed for these locator services. So, and then tracking down the money with these has been interesting, because we are waiting on the corporation. And typically most of these apartments belong to a larger group that processes payments. And so HomeSmart has to be a member of or associated with these different things. Right now, we're members of 3 different processing sort of services and about 400 different apartment buildings that equip. Sometimes we get an apartment locator that we have to join as a HomeSmart. So we're paying a lot of fees to be able to process and get payment for locators. So these are slow. They don't oftentimes pay very quickly, just to be aware of that. But we've making some changes with RealSmart Agent for you to make it easier for us and easier for you. We used to acquire a IABS and an apartment locator invoice, then we have to waive the other thing. So we want you to, going forward, for those that do apartment locating, to create a miscellaneous income file. We're not going to classify it as a lease or a referral, because it won't trigger those documents. Then all you're going to need is just the invoice for those, so we can track payment from the locator service, the apartment company, to HomeSmart on your behalf for sending that potential buyer over. Because they're not a client. You're not providing agent services to them. All you're doing is directing them. So we don't need an IABS. So only the locator invoice, which is available in your RealSmart Agent download section, and create the file as a miscellaneous file. That's we're going to try to save you headaches and save HomeSmart some headaches as well in the process. And then this is one of those things where we're trying to navigate this sort of great way. And a lot of our agents make really good money doing this as a side business, but it is one that's doesn't fit these normal sort of like lane of what we typically do. All right, a rule change in track. Many of agents, especially our newer agents, have called me personally as a broker. They used to have, for every agent, newer agent doing a transaction type, the first time the broker had to provide additional guidance and coaching and so forth for that agent. So it was 1, and then they changed the rule to make that 3. And so that means if you're used to doing residential purchases, great. Now you're branching out into multifamily or into land or whatever, then you would need additional coaching and guidance. And so we talked about this with our team. It's not specific on what we offer. We have our transaction team that helps you with your documents. We have the transaction templates to help you with what's required. We have the required documents that are in RealSmart Agent download section. We have the broker line available to you all. We have the mentorship team that provides transaction support and mentoring for new types of business, as well as old types of business for new agents. We are working to find agents and brokers on our team that have specialties in certain areas, commercial specialty, multifamily specialty, land specialists, that we can refer you to get assistance for new ventures in new types of real estate for you. I know you all want to do everything you can. And of course, our new associate broker will be assigned as well to provide assistance and coaching for those cases for agents that are starting their first 3 transactions in a new category or a new area, for that matter. If you're familiar with Houston and you start selling things in College Station, that would also fall under that umbrella. We need someone that's more familiar in College Station to walk with you. So we're meeting the rule by doing those things. Now with HomeSmart, they're always doing things. You all got an email. Hope you all saw the video, but we have they've updated and revamped Real Smart Agent in a way that you can all appreciate. So we've got a video, and I'm hoping it will play for you. Jeanette, did you hear the noise?
No, I don't hear anything.
I'm gonna skip it then just for now. And I'll send it out.
No.
Oh, Reba did. Okay. I'm gonna play it then. Go ahead. If not, I'll send it out afterward.
I don't hear anything, Marty.
It's all right. I'll send it to you afterwards. Yes.
Okay.
It was just music, Jeanette. But basically, this is a sizzle reel for the new Real Smart Agent. This has a great look. Yeah, that's right, Catherine. So April 1st, we'll have training available for agents, for brokers, for everybody as well to learn how to navigate it. It's going to be very similar, but the capability to draw in leads from your websites, to almost use it as a CRM in some cases, a modified one. It's going to be a lot easier flow. I'm excited. So that's good. Anything that makes our job easier, the better. So, all right. Couple of things. This is really important for all of you. Thank you for staying with me as long as you have. We talked about every single year, HomeSmart sends out by email the updated policies and procedures, the updated Schedule A, the updated state addendums, if you will. These are all available in your download section of Real Smart Agent. And like most clients, we say it's there, go look at it, and most of you don't. I get that, you're busy. But I wanted to go over this too. It talks about late paperwork and W-9. A couple things. This is the Schedule A. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. It's pretty small. Take a look at it. But the first part of Schedule A just covers the plans. Many of you are on the Champions plan, grandfathered in, but the HomeSmart plans, your option A, option B, option C, and option D is commercial. These are different, like how monthly fee, what's your transaction fee as far as that goes. And then of course, option A is $25 a month, $350 for each transaction. It's uncapped. So as many transactions as you do, it doesn't stop. Option B, you have a higher transaction fee, monthly fee. You have the same transaction fee, but it's capped at $6,000. Option C is for teams. Option D is for commercial. And then you have the additional option. I want to point these out. KV Core is $45 a month. CoStar is $410 a month. That's commercial. LoopNet and so forth. Many of you have called about, I've been billed $45. What's this for? If it's been billed for $45, somehow you got signed up for KV Core. If you don't want it, email me or we'll make that stop for you. But that's what it's for. So anyway, and then the E&O. This is important to note. The deductible is $15,000. What does that mean? When there's a claim against you as a licensee, and of course the brokerage, and we have to go use the E&O insurance to cover it, the agent pays the first $15,000. So I want to make sure that you saw that. I think in the past that may have been $5,000. So it's something that you be aware of. Now, I get a lot of questions. I wanted to highlight a few things here. That there's some changes that you need to be aware of when it comes to this year's 2024 E&O. We always had, well, not always had, since I've been here, we've always had a risk reduction fee of $50 per transaction side, regardless of plan. So Champions plan, HomeSmart plans, whatever it may be, $50 on top of your transaction fee for E&O on every transaction. And then for leases, it's $10. Now, the line below that is the one that a lot of agents miss. The first transaction for every agent of every year there's an additional $295 charge on that first transaction. That's only, that's like a front loading the errors and omissions insurance. So the insurance it covers you if something goes wrong, is $50 a transaction, but the first transaction is $295. Just that's something that's oftentimes missed. And they know, why am I getting charged this? It's your first transaction of the year. And typically it's a sale, so you have more commission. The big one here I wanted to point out for a lot of our commercial agents, that's why joining HSI Commercial, if you're a full-time commercial agent at HomeSmart, makes a ton of sense to join HSI Commercial. Not only do you get mentoring and a team and the discounted rates to CoStar and so forth, you also get a cap on your commissions. This is new. This was there in the previous one, but was kind of they made it clearer. I'll put it this way: so all commercial sales, all commercial land sales, and all commercial lease transactions are an 80-20 split with HomeSmart, with a minimum of $350. That is different than it was before. Before we had this, but it was kind of like, well, which transaction is residential, is it commercial? If it's labeled commercial, it's an 80-20 split with HomeSmart with no cap. If you're a member of HSI Commercial, it's 80-20 up to $15,000. That's the for the whole year. So keep that in mind. Then you have the fees for the referrals, for residential referrals and commercial referrals. And then the additional, this is one that was in last year's Schedule A and this year's Schedule A that doesn't make a lot of sense. This is one of those things where I went 6 ways to Sunday arguing about it because it needs to be spelled out clearer. But if you have a transaction that meets the criteria, so if you're selling land that's a $1.5 million and above, there's an additional transaction fee. If you're selling multifamily dwellings from 5 to 23 units, there's an additional transaction fee, or 24 plus units. So that's just specific types of things, land over $1.5 million and multifamily over basically 5 units. There's an additional transaction fee that most of the agents don't even notice. But they may do this for the first time. Make sure you're looking at these things when you're looking at your transactions. And then the last page talks about, if you do a commission advance, it's $100. If you leave HomeSmart, the fees for that. And then miscellaneous income. This is the one, if you've got forfeited income, retainer fees, cancellation fees, consulting fees, mediation payments, basically the charge from HomeSmart is 10% of whatever you receive. So, and that's very rare, but we're going to use this for our locator service too. So it's very straightforward, 10%. Hope that makes sense, but I want to make sure that you highlight some things that a lot of questions come around that and say it's available for your review in the download section, but you need to make sure that you know what you're getting into before you get in the transaction. All right, we are wrapping this up. Our agents are kicking tail again already. It is now middle of March. And I want to say the HomeSmart National, locally we celebrate our top 150 in Houston. HomeSmart National celebrates the top 50 for the entire company, the 27,000 agents, and they celebrate the top 250 for the 27,000 agents nationwide. And so keep that in mind. Lizette LaBarca, our top agent, is in the top 50 agents for size, volume, and diamond level. So Lizette LaBarca is our top 50 agent nationwide out of 27,000 agents. That's pretty impressive. Jessica Lee was just on the cusp. She is top 250 in every level as well. She's like right between the 50 and the 250. Tim O'Neill is top 250 for size and volume. Then we got Travis, Jose, Bradley, and Leonard, all in the top 250 nationwide for the transaction size they've closed last year. That's impressive. That's a really impressive. So we have a bunch of agents that are really doing good compared to everybody nationwide. So good job on them. But we're going to celebrate what we're doing locally as well. So February, we have our top 10 in production. These are number of units closed in February. We have Shaina Akram, Anab Kanal, Christy McKim, Hugo Mendoza, Travis Harris, Theo Gaitanaras, Shameen Ahmed, Sylvia Estrada, Sergio Garcia, Bradley Gillespie, and Jessica Joy, and Alejandro Bustamante. I went 12, obviously. But February, it's already doing really well. And the funny thing about these 12, most of them all tied for third. I just had to put them in order because that's based on the numbers closed. Now, if you want to look at just kind of a leaderboard for the year so far, from January 1st through March 13th, yesterday, we've got Jessica Lee, Hugo Mendoza, Jose Portillo, Angela Moore, Leonard Williams, Jared Williamborn Jr., and so forth down the line, as leading the way as far as closed transactions year to date. Those in volumes, we have February. Obviously, in February, Maria Galvez, Camaro Bonito, Travis Anup, Melina, Karina DeBob, Theo, Shaina Arinze, and Chidule, and Glema. Nice job in February. And the same thing year to date. If you the people change, because from January 1st to March 13th, we have Rania Kettler Jr., Maria Galvez, Karina DeBob, Jessica Lee, Jared Anup, and so forth. Killing it so far. Nice job, everybody. Then we go top teams. Now, teams are also killing it. The teams are led, obviously, the Bay Area group by Tracy Frederick, the Royal Elite group by Lizette LaBarca, the Realtix group by Justin Braden, the Space City group was by Dianera Martinez, and the Young by Young Yusuf, and then Hive House is Brittany Johnson. But these are the top sides for the teams and top teams in volume. The Realtix team, Royal Elite. So the teams are really growing. That's one thing I want to mention here. The teams, the HomeSmart models really favors teams. So if you are thinking about, hey, I want to grow, I want to be a partner, I want to add team members, come talk to us or talk to Ryan or talk to our agent services. The team model caps your total overall transaction fees for the whole team. So if you're going to do a lot of production, have your mini brokerage, you want to act as a broker for a while, we are the place. And then we have someone jumping in here. Okay. All right. See, look, we're almost an hour and a half. Next month's meeting is April 11th. So we're going to do it online. Last question for all of you. I'd love to see it in the chat. I want to do at least one or two of these brokerage meetings in person this year, just to get more of us together in the same room, provide lunch, have speakers come in person. Sometimes it's just more, it's just better being together, if you will. So my question to you is, would that be better in May, June, or July? So be thinking about April's online, but I'm looking at May or June of doing one in person at the gallery office. Let me know by email or in the chat. Let me see if I can stop share here. All right. May, what Miston said. Okay, cool. May, Yvonne says, thank you. Well, keep on let me know on this as well. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for our special guest. Madeline's still there. Madeline, it was great. Gina was great. Obviously, Ryan being sick was awesome. June, Lucy, okay. All of our special guests. It's great to provide value and information that you need. And then we'll go from there. And it looks like a bunch of Mays, 1 June. Keep on let me know by email as well. And then if anything else I can be available for you, please let me know. Other than that, I will give you all a few minutes back of your time and have a great day. Yeah, Gary and May.
Marty.
Yes, Farah.
Thank you. Magic.
You're welcome. Welcome. All right. I'm going to stop recording then. We don't need to record this part.